What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Breaking News. $114 million stock pumping scheme. Very important video. I need you to give me a huge thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and join us at trysmallbiz.com, where you can advertise your company for free, or for just $1 a day, you can become a premium member, and we'll promote you to more than 135,000 people every single year. That's at trysmallbiz.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in today's very, very important video, and again, thumbs up, share it with all your friends. Give me upwards of 30 minutes. If you got to come back, that's fine, because in today's video, I'm going to cover what the feds just brought down on 7 or 8 major influencers, some of which you know. What in the world are they looking at, including the possibility of decades behind bars? What does it mean for us, especially moving forward with our intention to launch a stock texting service at the beginning of 2023? This is going to be a big one, so do me a favor. Pull up a chair, grab a cup of coffee, ice cold beer, glass of wine, whiskey on a big rock, bottle of champagne. Here we go. All right, like I said, this is going to be a long one. If you got to come back 2 or 3 times over the weekend, it's going to be well worth it. You're going to learn a lot of new things about me, some of which I've never said before on camera. The goal today is not to crucify the gentlemen that are involved, because if you read the indictment, as I'm going to do for the most part out loud today, it's scathing. These guys are looking at 25 or 30 years apiece, in addition to the feds wanting to claw back $114 million of ill-begotten gains. Everyone deserves the presumption of innocence, but if these guys are found guilty, it's lock, stock, and barrel, and the pimpin' lifestyle is over. This is some scary shit, so please watch the whole thing through. As I'm going through each section, be thinking about questions to ask me and include your feedback below. But let me just quickly touch on the fact that BBIG is back from the dead. They're playing musical chairs again with the CEO, and while I did not recommend buying it at 51 cents, and I still don't at 64 as we speak, I'm fairly confident that we're going to get most, if not all, of our money back over the course of the next, let's say, month or two. We own the stock in the low 90s. Maybe it's Eric Finman, maybe it's somebody else, but they have huge potential now that they want to shut down TikTok. I mean, my goodness, what a time for BBIG if they could ever get their shit together. So let's just say a prayer, shall we, that this move that we're seeing today of up more than 20% continues. The stock market, the Dow is down 1,000 points. Let's see. Did somebody call this crash a week or two ago? Everyone was partying, right? Oh, Jerome Powell, oh, we're going to the moon. No, I said we were way overbought. We're going down. Not only going down big. And now we're down what? Almost 2,000 points in the last couple of days in the DOW. And we're still going lower. But if my work is correct, and it has been for the most part, not a hell of a lot lower. 3750, I think, is going to be support on the S&P 500. So down another 3 or 4% from where we are right now. Yeah, it's going to get ugly, but we need everyone to panic, throw in the towel. Baby goes out with the bathwater, and when the retail investor finally gives up, that should be when the VIX is north of 35. Right now, it's only 23. All in. And if you're already all in like myself, just hang in there, enjoy the holidays, because the beginning of next year, we are going to have the mother of all short squeezes, similar to MULN, by the way. Yeah. Did I leave some money on the table? Yes. Did I see a $200 million deal coming overnight? No. We made 38.5%. Get to the damn thing. I will. It's going to be interesting, ladies and gentlemen. But we made 38.5% in MULN. They halt the damn stock. It opens at 40. That was the sell everything you own moment. Now it's at 29.5 cents. So yeah, we could have made another 25%. But considering 38.5 in less than what, 2 weeks, make it take it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. As I go through the Securities and Exchange Commission versus 7 or 8 influencers, I'm not going to mention their names out loud. These guys are already in enough trouble. So I'll say so-and-so or such and such. So without further ado, pull yourself up a chair if you haven't already. And again, come back to this as often as you need. It's going to be a half an hour or thereabouts, but it'll be well worth your time. The government states, and I won't read all 39 pages, but a good chunk of it. To their legions of followers on social media, And I'll pin this in the top comment, share it all over social media. The 8 defendants for years have promoted themselves as trustworthy stock picking gurus. In reality, they are seasoned manipulators. They identify stocks ripe for manipulation, acquire substantial positions in these securities, and then they recommend those stocks as good investments to their followers on Twitter and in online stock trading forums they run and on podcasts. They encourage their followers to purchase the selected stocks, often claiming they likewise have bought or intend to buy these stocks for themselves and hold them. Instead, the defendants sell their shares into the demand that their deceptive promotions generate. All right, let's get something straight. And if the feds are watching me right now, listen carefully. We have no podcast as of yet. I don't share my stock picks with anyone. Not you, not my neighbor, not anyone. I have my own proprietary system that I have worked on for 30 years. I spent 15 on Wall Street as a broker, most of that time in South Florida. I don't share my ideas with anybody. The minute I decide to buy or sell something for the past year or so on Twitter at Try Small Biz, I share it within minutes, if not seconds, in and out. No secrets, no private chat rooms, nobody down the street that I'm telling to get loaded up, no options that I hear these guys were buying ahead of the promotions. So they take a huge position in a penny stock that has calls. They load up on the calls. They tell 500,000 people to buy the stock. Minutes later, they're blowing out of an option at 100, 200, 300% gain. I've done none of that. I haven't traded options since I went bankrupt in 2008. I don't recommend them. You shouldn't be in them. 90% of all options trades expire worthless. It's almost impossible unless you're a professional hedge artist to make money in options. I also do not trade on margin. You don't do any of that shit. So right out of the gate, they have been accused of pump and dump schemes through podcasts and private chat rooms. We're not in any of that. I'm not on Discord. I've never been in Discord. I'm not a member of StockTwits, although I do read The Wall from time to time. There are no secret rooms. There are no recordings that the feds could ever have on me, and that's the fucking truth. I go on. 7 of the defendants, and again, I'm not reading the names, carried out the scheme, coordinating the acquisition of shares, promoting the shares to their followers, and dumping the shares for substantial profits. We're in it together. When I say I'm buying a position in XYZ, that's what I'm doing. And when I say, as I did last night with MULN, that I'm getting out at 0.2658, that's exactly what I did. You know the buys, you know the sells in real time, and up until now, I haven't charged anybody a single penny, not only for EIDL, but for the stock picks that have got you up, what? Close to 13x, even with the drawdown this year? Pff, please. That's why the feds might be looking at a guy like me, right? How is this possible? Here, real time, no bullshit, check it out. So-and-so and such carried out the acquisition of the shares. They were aided and abetted by so-and-so. I know this is frustrating. You want me to read the names. You do it for yourself. We don't need to bring any more heat to these guys than they already have. Who co-hosted a popular stock trading podcast that promoted the other defendants as expert traders and provided a platform for the defendants to deceptively promote the stocks they intend to dump. From January 2020 through the present, the relevant period is what they're calling it, the 8 defendants earned approximately $100 million. So think about this for a second, ladies and gentlemen. That's $10 to $15 million a piece in a 2-year period. For the record, I have not made 7 figures trading the stock market. 6 figures? Yes. And I used most of that money to pay off the truck that was in that garage, my credit cards, and half of my house. And as you saw me just say on Twitter, I just gave away half of my nest egg today to the government. My accountant, who I love, I've been working with him now for almost 30 years since I became a broker in 1994. This video is going to be very interesting, so please stick with me till the end. He explained to me that even though I'm incorporated in my other business, remote sales, you're watching Small Biz, I maximized my write-offs, my expenses, and I had to surrender because I'm a single man with no wife, no kids, and no additional write-offs. Over 40% of my winnings in 2022. So I'm about half as rich as I thought I was when I got out of bed this morning. And if this continues, and I expect we're going to have some success in 2023. Holy shit, right? And the worst part about it, where's the money go? Where's the money go? Oh, they launder it to places like Ukraine. They spend it on the Green New Deal, which is an absolute fabrication. Slow down, Jason. We don't need any more shadow banning. You get my point, right? We have to give up half of our income, our nest egg, to the federal government so they can flush it down a fucking toilet or give it to their cronies in far off places. Don't even get me started. There's a 2-hour video. I continue. Violations. As a result of the conduct alleged herein, defendant so-and-so and such violated rules which contain in section 17A, blah, 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 blah. The nature of the proceedings and relief sought, and this is staggering. The commission, sounds scary, doesn't it? The commission seeks a permanent injunction against the defendants, enjoining them from engaging in transactions, acts, practices, courses of business of the type alleged in this complaint. Disgorgement of all ill-gotten gains from the unlawful conduct set herein. The $114 million that they supposedly made in the last 2 years, the government wants it all back. And if you read the indictment, which is 39 pages long, they're looking at decades behind bars. Maximum penalties, of course, and I don't think they're going to go away for that long, but these guys are going away. All that money, the big pimpin' lifestyle, excuse me, the cars, the Lambos, the mansions of which I am not a part of, is gone. Their life, for most intents and purposes, and most of these guys are young men, late 20s to early 40s, it's over. Are they making an example? Of course they are. Is Wall Street, the analyst community, as crooked as fucking ever? Absolutely. They don't go after those guys. You've heard me talk about dark pools and naked short selling, where institutions will secretly short sell the hell out of a stock like a BBIG, like an HLBZ, like a COMS, without legally borrowing it from a broker. And they're able to cover their position when they get retail to fucking throw in the towel and give up entirely, only to pump it up with some buy recommendation or some chat room fiasco like with what we're reading here. But you don't see them going after those guys. Oh, they'll get hit with little fines here and there. But I don't want to say the S word, the institution that's going after these guys, they're just making an example. Is what they're doing wrong? Of course it is. Do they belong behind bars? Probably for a certain amount of time. Should they give back the money? Yeah. They broke the law and it gets real bad, but the practice of pump and dump has been going on. Oh, look at all the guys that go on CNBC that have no idea what they're fucking talking about. You take Carvana. I told you it was going to be a half-an-hour video, but it's going to be worth it. CVNA. A year ago in August, a year and a couple of months, the stock was $350. Every single analyst, over 24, had a buy on the stock. Then it starts to fall apart with the used car market. The stock crashed to 3.5 this past week. So we're talking about 350 to 3.5, a total 97 or 8% wipeout. They all started downgrading the stock when it got to $15 to $20. I guarantee Goldman Sachs and others were in there going, they were buying up every single share at 4, 4.5, 3, 3.5, etc. And then when the market stabilized early part of next year and the Fed is done raising rates and the stock climbs back to 10, 12, 13, guess what? They're going to tell you, the retail buyer, to load up on the stock. And where are they going to get it from? The same shit you sold it to them for at 3.5 and 4. That's how the game is played. But the certain institution, the commission, only wants to go after the little guys and gals. Defendants, it listed defendants. You've seen them on social media. What I learned throughout, and I'm skipping ahead, I'm now on page 11 of 39. I learned that you better not be showboating. You better not be flaunting your wealth. One of these guys had the gall to tag repeatedly the S something C and taunt them in front of a Lambo. You think that pissed somebody off? Yeah. You think that made them want to go after these guys? Yes. Do you ever see me do any of that? I live in a $500,000 house in Atlanta. There's a pickup truck that was paid for out there. And by the way, I had to get another one last week because my brakes went out for the second time. If you got a 2019 Silverado, stick around. You're going to learn a lot about me, including this damn thing. I had problems with the transmissions and the brakes kept going out. Sometimes going down the road. It was a software issue. Well, it happened to me again the other night. And I said, you know what? It's been a good year. We've got a great opportunity with the stock texting service in promoting your small businesses with a podcast that will launch. Paulie, the magician, is building it for us right now, installed early January. I don't need to be dropping dead or getting hit by somebody else on the road. So I went out and got a 2022 Silverado, the trade-in, etc. I owe a tiny amount of money on it. It's amazing. But other than this house, my pickup truck, I have no toys, no drug habits. I gave that up 15 years ago. I have no excess whatsoever, other than an obsession with the stock market, serving small business owners, and a lot of you have asked me about this. I have a passion for Breitling Super Avengers. When I was younger, I had a boatload of them. So about 6 months to a year ago, after I dug myself out of a ditch, and I paid off through our winnings this year, my credit cards, my truck, half of my mortgage. I said, you know what? I'm going to call my buddy in New York City. I'm going to add a couple of dozen carats to a watch that I buy because I deserve a treat. So that's what it is. I'm not here to say, aren't I special? This is an example of what can happen when you go bankrupt in 2008 like I did, end up on a forklift for $9.50 an hour right up the street in Cumming, Georgia, rebuild your credit, buy and sell a few homes, start a new business, and make over 1,400% on your money without ever charging anybody a dime. So yeah, I deserve a Christmas present, although it was a little early, and so do you. So if you've ever wondered what that is, that's it. But other than that, I am painfully simple. And someday I'm going to take the camera around the house and around my neighborhood, and you're going to say, that's it? That's all? He's got some fancy watch. He drinks the same coffee, eats the same food, sleeps at the same time, goes to the same places? Yes. And that's why I think I've been rather successful with your help. I'm not going in 700 different directions. I've eliminated a lot of the excess, and I'm not doing anything that these motherfuckers are doing. I continue. Summary of the scheme. The defendants engaged in a long-running fraudulent scheme to manipulate securities by publishing false and misleading information in inline stock forums, podcasts, and through their Twitter accounts. They were aided and abetted by so-and-so and such. They would take a position. Next, they would promote the stock to their followers on podcasts or social media platforms. Typically, they would announce price targets. That's something I also don't do. You have seen me repeatedly say price targets are for rookies. I may also include price targets are for idiots. I don't know where a stock is going except for higher when I buy it. Because the minute you tell someone, okay, we bought the stock at a quarter, I think it's going to 40 cents. They're unwilling to change. They got it in their head, okay, we're getting out, Helen, at 40 cents. The minute I say I'm selling it all at 33, well, what do you mean we're selling it all? I thought you said it was going to 40. No. I have my own system that I keep to myself as to when I enter and when I exit. And if you're paying attention on Twitter at Try Small Biz, I'm damn fucking good at what I do, but it took me 30 years to get to this place. I have lost a few fortunes with options, with margin, and with ignoring the rule that I told you guys repeatedly. Never put more than 10% or thereabouts into one idea. If you got 10 grand, you put no more than 1,000, and you should go 500, as I always say, and then scale the other half in. The ones that get blown up go all in on one or two stocks, and if you happen to be in an XELA or before the news today, a BBIG, you're down 60%, and then what? Your marriage falls apart, you have a stroke, a heart attack, or worse. So you don't do that stuff. You pay attention to risk management that I talk about repeatedly. I don't have podcasts. There is no secret chat rooms. This goes on and on and on about nefarious schemes that these guys were doing, of which we've done none. And stick around until the end because I'm going to be asking you, now that the feds are clearly looking for anyone that's in a Discord or anyone that's having massive success on Twitter, what are we going to do? How do we get around the fact that they're going to be digging under the hood And even if they never find anything on myself or people like you, they can still make your life miserable. I'm starting to think that keeping everything out in the open is the right thing to do. Whether it's on our Twitter page or another page, all out in the open. No edits, no schemes, no scams, no private rooms, all out in the open. Because they're crawling Discord and other private chat rooms. You learn in this indictment, they recorded private chat calls. And these guys are quoted as saying that we ripped off these mother effing fools. You'll never get anything like that on me. And one way that we avoid it is to stay out of private rooms. So some of you think, excuse me, we need a Discord. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just need either a text to your phone. I also had another idea that you can set up for notifications that would ding you, whether it's on a social media site. I set up another YouTube channel or something of the sort. You subscribe, you hit the bell. I do a short 60-second or less video. Buying ABC, maybe one or two sentences as to why, with a disclaimer, because that's going to have to be there now. And you get alerted right away. I don't know how this is going to go down. What I do know is we have to do the opposite of what these guys did. We can't be having, hey, I'm going to give you a heads up to buy such and such at 20, but then I'll tell everybody else to buy it at 22 or 5 or a week after no, everything I do is real time, instantly, no secrets. You and I are in, we're getting killed, we're making money together. That's the way it's been since the beginning. That's the way it's always going to be. Is this guy always this wacky? Is he always so red in the face? When I get excited, when I'm passionate about something like this, yeah, I occasionally look like I'm about to have a stroke, but hopefully I won't because I'm in fairly good shape, believe it or not. In 2018, defendant so-and-so founded Atlas Trading. I will mention one of the businesses. A free line forum had over 100,000 members. One of the sections was called Small Caps. They had sub-forums or rooms within rooms. Again, crawling with feds. Is that really what we want to do? I'm not so sure about that. The small caps trading floor was locked out to most. In other words, dangle the carrot, right? The whole exclusivity thing. The only thing I get paid, ladies and gentlemen, is $1 a day from premium members. And we've been flat, in case you haven't heard me for the last 3 months, at 410 or 11. For every 100 that come in, thank you very much for your support. Stick with us. 100 go out, and I never hear from them again. Very few delete their account. They just stop paying. So if we don't get a hell of a lot more than 411 at $1 a day, we got, one of two choices. We raise the price, which some of my friends are telling me to do. Even if you lose half your business, Jason, raise it. $2, $3, $4, $5 a day. Some of these guys are making hundreds of thousands off your stock picks, which is true. Why shouldn't they pay you $100 a month instead of 36? You know me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Robin Hood. I have a soft heart, and if I think about it too much, I'll start crying. And I don't need to do that in a 30-minute video. I care about the little guy and gal. That's what I fought for the last 2 years. I love hearing from certain people that start with a $50 trading account, and they got it up to $200, and they're over the moon. Now, most egomaniacs would be laughing at people like that. Not me. I grew up poor, oldest of 5. I lost everything 15 years ago. I had to get on a fucking forklift and load Craftsman wrenches into a trailer alongside my father, rest his soul, passed away a few years. Picture my father and me, Mr. Multi-gazillionaire as a young man, loading wrenches onto a pallet and then a truck in sweltering heat. But it was the best experience of my life. I'll never forget, there was a day I was in the bathroom. I had these giant goggles on, 100 degrees in this warehouse, July of 2008. And they were sliding off my nose, and I'm looking in the mirror as I'm taking a piss, and I thought, you fucking loser. And I broke down in tears. I was broke. I was devastated. But it was at that moment that I said, it's all me. I went bankrupt. I got over leveraged. I was doing drugs and chasing hookers and all that stuff. I did it all. I'm responsible for the mess that I'm in. It was that moment, ladies and gentlemen, that I accepted full responsibility, that my life turned around. And within 2 years, I had built and sold a couple of houses. And now here I am on the cusp of a gigantic release of a podcast, a business that's growing at over 500 members a month. And for the love of God, if we could ever get more than 9% to pay me $1 a day, we could have so much fun for the next 30 years. We could make so much money legally, wide open, out in the open, so the feds, if they want to pay attention to a guy like me, have no questions whatsoever. And yeah, we'll figure out a way to securely get to you the information that you need so you can act in real time. That's what I want to do. $1 a day. Hit the red upgrade to premium button when you log into your account. In 2018, so-and-so founded Sapphire Trading, another stock trading forum on Discord, which again, no Discord, no private chat rooms, never even joined them, never even been inside them, if you can believe that or not. I knew when I started this business and I was going to be wide open about my stock picks. As the months went by, I said, there's a lot of eyes on me. There's people that don't believe it. Every time I go out and I tell someone I'm up 1,000, bullshit. You can't be. And depending on my mood, I'll share my Twitter account. And they'll scroll down as I'm sitting there having a drink and they'll go, holy shit. This guy actually knows what he's talking about. Mullen. And they just realize, they're like, how do you do this? I don't tell anybody how I do it. I do say stochastics, MACD, and RSI are my 3 golden angels. And that helps determine when I get in and when I get out. But as you know, I buy the dip. When your nuts are the size of a grain of sand, fellas, that's 75% of my audience, by the way, probably time to buy. When you're dancing, right? When fucking the stock was holding on Mullen and it opened at 40 cents and some fool was in there buying it, you should have sold it all. Now it's at 29 and a quarter. Ain't gonna see 40 in my opinion anytime soon. It may in fact go back below where we got out at 26 and a half, but I digress. Section 23, I'm about halfway through. Bear with me. Yeah, this is going to be long. Podcast, July, so-and-so and such and such. They've got Twitter accounts. Here's some quotes on things they were saying to the public. Quote, if you didn't bank with the gang today, then I don't know what's wrong. Give this alert on Twitter and Sapphire Discord, 100% free. Hope everyone banked on this one. Did exactly what it said. I've said that before. Going to see a lot less of that, by the way. Support entries and blah, blah, blah. Didn't want to just keep talking about it. I'm out for the day. Everyone should have banked. Love you guys. I'll see you all tomorrow. And it goes on and on and on and on. In other words, they were not only recording private calls or voice chats is what they call them in Discord, but they had hundreds of chats that they've pulled from these guys. So what does it mean to us? You've seen me brag a bit in the last 6 months. Why? I'm trying to attract an audience. We just hit 10,000 Twitter followers. Thank you so much. Become a premium member so we can crank this up to a next level legally. So I've pounded my chest. But one thing I've learned going through this and talking to a few friends of mine, which know the law, know the rules, know the feds, shall we say, I have to tone it down. So when it comes to the market, a lot more matter of fact. Do this, do that. A lot less of this. If you know, you know, right? If you're following me, I don't need to remind you, as I have every other day, that we're up 1,000, 1,200, 1,500%. You fucking know that. And if you're not up that much, it's because you've decided not to participate in all the trades. Fair enough. But I need to stop doing a lot of this. It's bad enough that I've got this, but that's pretty much all I have. So it's about more humility. It's about being aware of the fact that they're probably watching. It's about being totally above board and out in the open with respect to everything that we do. Pictures of cars. I don't own a fancy Lambo. Gigantic houses that they probably don't even own. Maybe they do. And again, you're talking about $10 or $15 million a piece between those 7 or 8 guys. Again, this will be pinned in the top. Let me try and keep this around 30 minutes. More examples. CEI was a big pump. Remember, we recently took a loss in it at, I think, 10 cents. But when it ran a year or so ago, it went from like 25 cents to $4 or $5. Apparently, that was a pump and dump. We ended up taking a loss getting in 2-3 months ago. We need the losses, my goodness. I just let go of half of my nest egg. Some of you are going to have a similar problem paying your taxes this year. I didn't have IRA or a SEP or a Roth, which you should have, because I'm trying to build multiple businesses. I need access to my cash. So all of that, unfortunately, is taxed as a single man at close to 40%. Just unbelievable. More examples of when they would buy stock, including options, tell you they were selling when they weren't selling, tell you whether they were hanging on to something. If they were hanging on, look, when I say I'm getting in, I'm getting in. And when I say I'm getting out, I'm getting the fuck out. In real time. I mean, it's literally what I normally do is I write the tweet and then I have the E-Trade and I go bing, bing. It's most of the time within seconds. But to protect myself legally, I've got to say what? A few minutes? So when you get some time over the weekend, go through this. I want to wrap this up by saying, look, we have something going here. If you made it this far, thank you very much. You're one of the inner circle. But we have to be cognizant of the fact that they're trying to make an example of the little guy and gal. Yeah, it's wrong that they let Wall Street, the dark pools, the naked selling. I mean, it's a huge problem. You're talking about a multi-billion-dollar problem, and they're looking to crucify these guys, perhaps rightfully so, over $100 million. But if you have talent and you got a big mouth and you're starting to attract an audience like I am, and it's really going to get amped when we have access to a much larger audience via the podcast, they're going to be paying attention to what I'm doing. So in the comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do we protect ourselves legally while at the same time getting you the alerts that you need in real time? Knowing not only are the feds watching, but we got the scammers. They're intimating me, same face, same logo, etc. They're saying it's me texting you when it's not. How are we going to stay out of trouble while at the same time helping as many people as we possibly can? Because again, our mission is very simple. I help small business owners like you make money in the stock market and by promoting your company at trysmallbiz.com. That's what I do. And I do it right now for $1 a day. So if you're not a premium member, you log in or you join, there's a red upgrade to premium button. Get a premium membership. You're on the homepage 100 times a day. You get promoted at least once or twice a year to more than 135,000 people on all of our networks. You'll be talked about in product reviews and the podcast, which is going to launch in January. There's so many things in addition to giving me a chance to do what I do. If I can't get more people to invest $1 a day, I can't do what I'm doing. I've got to go over here in my other companies in order to pay my bills. And when you're single like I am and you give half your money away to the government every single year, especially when you do well, there's really not that much left over. So I'm asking for your support. If you are a premium member, stay with us. Get 2 or 3 of your friends and share your thoughts, your feelings below as to what happened here, but how do we stay out of trouble? What should we do when we come back from the holidays in early January? And until next time, hey, always remember that I love you guys and gals, and thank you so much for watching.